The Pentagon, nerve center of U.S. defense, is issuing a powerful new directive: double missile production. After years focused on small conflicts, the Pentagon now prepares for large-scale wars against major powers. Global tensions are rising, and missile stockpiles are dangerously low. Modern conflicts consume missiles at staggering rates, far outpacing peacetime production. The era of minimal stockpiles is over. The U.S. is rearming for a new age of uncertainty. The world is watching. The Pentagon's decision signals America is preparing for whatever comes next. Missile factories are unlike any other, blending advanced robotics with skilled labor to create the backbone of modern warfare. Each missile is a marvel of engineering, packed with precision electronics, guidance systems, and powerful warheads. Production starts with a global supply chain, managed by giants like Raytheon and Lockheed Martin, and hundreds of specialized suppliers. Assembly is meticulous clean rooms, strict safety protocols, and relentless quality control. For years, these factories operated at a steady, peacetime pace. Now, the Pentagon's demand for a production surge is forcing a complete overhaul. Factories must expand their workforce, add new machines, and secure more raw materials. The challenge is immense. Doubling output is like asking a car plant to instantly double its daily production. It's not just about working harder, it's about reimagining the entire process. The defense industry is racing to meet the Pentagon's call, testing the limits of American manufacturing. Every step, from sourcing microchips to assembling rocket motors, must scale up, fast. The stakes: ensuring the U.S. military has the firepower to meet any threat. This is a race against time, with global security hanging in the balance. The engines of modern warfare are revving higher than ever. America's industrial might is being put to the ultimate test. The world has changed. Wars and rivalries are back at the center of global affairs. Russia's invasion of Ukraine shattered the illusion of lasting peace, showing how quickly modern wars burn through missile stockpiles. In the Indo-Pacific, China's military buildup and assertiveness over Taiwan have U.S. planners on edge. Any conflict in this region would require vast numbers of long-range missiles. The Middle East remains volatile, with Iran and its proxies using missiles and drones to threaten U.S. interests and allies. Defending against these threats demands a steady supply of advanced interceptors and offensive missiles. These aren't isolated crises. They're part of a new era of great power competition. Missiles are now the currency of military strength, allowing nations to project power and deter aggression. The Pentagon sees a perfect storm: multiple flashpoints, rising adversaries, and depleted stockpiles. The conclusion is clear: America needs far more missiles to meet the demands of this dangerous new world. The U.S. is no longer the unchallenged superpower. It must rearm to maintain its edge. The global triggers are set, and the Pentagon is responding. The missile surge is a direct answer to a world on the brink. Ukraine's war has revealed a brutal truth. Modern conflicts devour munitions at an unprecedented rate. Thousands of missiles and artillery shells are fired daily, turning war into a contest of industrial capacity. U.S. factories took years to produce the number of javelins Ukraine used in just months. Stockpiles that once seemed sufficient vanished almost overnight. Larger high-tech systems like HIMARS rockets and air defense interceptors are also being depleted rapidly. Every missile sent to Ukraine is one less for U.S. forces. The Pentagon realized that in a major war, American stockpiles could be exhausted in weeks. The lessened peacetime production models are obsolete in the face of high-intensity conflict. Sustaining a modern war requires a relentless flow of new weapons from the factory floor. The U.S. is racing to ensure it never runs short again. The Pentagon's missile surge is rooted in two principles: deterrence and readiness. Deterrence means convincing adversaries that any attack will be met with overwhelming force. This requires not just advanced weapons, but enough of them to sustain a prolonged fight. A visible, well-stocked arsenal signals to rivals like China and Russia: aggression will be costly. Low stockpiles, as exposed by the Ukraine war, risk emboldening adversaries. Readiness is the other side. being fully prepared to fight if deterrence fails. Supporting Ukraine has drawn down U.S. reserves, creating vulnerabilities in other regions. The Pentagon can't afford to choose between crises. It must be ready for multiple threats at once. Doubling production is about refilling and expanding arsenals to meet this new standard. It also enables realistic training, ensuring troops are confident and capable. True readiness means having the weapons, the training, and the industrial base to back it up. Without enough missiles, deterrence and readiness are just words. The surge is an investment in both, making sure the U.S. can deter, and if necessary, win. This is the core of America's new defense strategy. America's role as the arsenal of democracy is more vital than ever. U.S. allies depend on American-made missiles to defend themselves in times of crisis. The war in Ukraine highlighted this, with billions in aid and thousands of missiles sent to Kyiv. Every missile shipped abroad must be replaced, or U.S. readiness suffers. Demand is surging from Europe to the Indo-Pacific, as allies like Poland, Taiwan, and Japan seek to bolster their defenses. Meeting these orders is crucial for collective security and U.S. credibility. The production surge allows the U.S. to support allies without depleting its own stockpiles. This industrial strength reassures partners and deters adversaries. America's ability to supply weapons shapes the global balance of power. The missile surge is about more than U.S. security. It's about upholding a global order. The world is counting on America's factories to deliver. Doubling missile output is a massive industrial challenge. Defense giants are expanding factories, building new assembly lines, and investing in automation. Lockheed Martin's Arkansas plant is just one example of this nationwide expansion. New machinery and robotics are being installed to boost speed and precision. The biggest hurdle skilled workers. Engineers, technicians, and welders are in high demand. Companies are recruiting, training, and even bringing back retirees to fill the gap. The supply chain must also scale up. Every missile relies on thousands of parts, from microchips to casings. Contractors are partnering with suppliers, offering support and long-term contracts to ensure steady flow. The entire defense industrial base is being rebuilt for sustained high-volume output. This isn't a quick fix, it's a long-term transformation. The goal, a resilient, flexible system that can meet any surge in demand. America's factories are gearing up for a new era of military production. The future of U.S. security depends on their success. The missile surge brings big challenges and far-reaching consequences. The supply chain is under strain. Defense and civilian industries compete for the same critical materials. Costs are soaring, each missile is expensive, and doubling output means a massive budget increase. Political debates loom over how much to spend on defense versus other priorities. The defense industry faces risks too. If demand drops, expanded factories could sit idle. Clear, consistent government planning is needed to avoid boom and bust cycles. There's also a strategic risk. U.S. rearmament could trigger an arms race with rivals like China and Russia. Building strength is essential, but it must be balanced to avoid escalating tensions. Policymakers must navigate these dilemmas, ensuring security without fueling instability. The surge is reshaping the defense sector and the global security environment. America's choices now will echo for decades. The stakes are nothing less than the future of peace and power. The Pentagon's missile surge marks a permanent shift in U.S. defense strategy. The post-Cold War peace dividend is gone. High-intensity conflict is once again a real possibility. America and its allies are adapting to a world where military strength is essential for stability. Larger missile stockpiles and resilient supply chains are now the new baseline. This industrial surge will reshape the U.S. military and its global role. A robust arsenal strengthens deterrence and gives commanders more options in a crisis. America's renewed industrial power reassures allies and deters adversaries. The push for more missiles is also driving innovation. Hypersonics, swarming drones, and smarter weapons are on the horizon. Today's investments lay the groundwork for tomorrow's technological edge. The world is more dangerous, but the U.S. is determined to be ready. The hum of missile factories is the sound of a nation preparing for the future. This is an investment in deterrence, alliance, and resolve. America's commitment to security is being forged on the factory floor.